the buzzword, of course, is artificial intelligence, and South Africa, through its G20 presidency, is using an opportunity, or this opportunity, to focus on its digital transformation. Let's take a moment to speak a bit more about this and bringing the Deputy Director General at the Communications and Digital Technologies Department in Mashishi, who's with us now via our video link. DDG, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to speak to us about an issue which I think is becoming almost impossible to avoid. I mean, if I was savvy enough, I could have asked AI to help me come up with questions about this very interview. That's because it's become such a pervasive part of our lives. But my understanding is that a huge focus on the gathering that's currently underway in Gqeberha is ways around ensuring no one is left behind as we, of course, take on this innovation.
No, thanks, Thembela. I think let's put things in context a bit. Technology has always been existing to make the life of humans to be easy and to also take away the inconveniences that comes with it. AI is one of those tools that will help us as the humanity to deal with issues of vision, recognition, and as well as comprehending. And one thing that he hasn't done yet is to be able to have feelings or emotions, which is the forte. So the discussions here is in twofold. There's what is called the Digital Economy Working Group, which is a standard structure of the G20, where we discuss 4 priorities related to infrastructure, investment and expansion, and the inclusion of the infrastructure. The second issue is to look at the digital public infrastructure. These are platforms of convenience as they work together with the social platforms to make sure that we use them for service delivery. The third issue is how do we bring in our small, medium enterprises as startups within this innovative aspects, and make sure that we build an ecosystem that can give an opportunity to all these business entities in the countries of the world. And the fourth issue is to look at artificial intelligence in terms of the issues that are biased in nature that makes competition or innovation a difficult thing, and then look at what are the issues in the AI that we need to globally agree on. For example, the data sets that are important, and then the issue around governance around it and standards, so that we make sure that any innovation from the AI assists everyone globally.
Yeah, and I'm interested in that last point you've just made around governance and making sure that everybody benefits. I would think it'd be remiss to speak about AI and its rollout without honing in on the ethics involved here. Technology throughout the years, of course, has been used to advance human life, make it easier, but we've also seen ways in which it's been used to drive inequality, in fact, and entrench poverty in some instances, if we don't keep in mind issues to do with ethics when it comes to this kind of technology.
Yeah, look, I think it's important that we put understanding why, as government, we think artificial intelligence is an important tool for development. Firstly, it is because in its ability, it's got the enhancement of service delivery and makes citizens to be able to have enough time for creative thinking than to be inconvenienced by things that can be done by the machines. On the issues of ethics, the technology is usually developed by individuals. And if we are not careful to ensure that whatever innovation that comes from AI is the one that enhances the growth of society, and also make sure that it creates priorities of a state, people will create it, or creators will create it in a way that it advances their own nature. So the 3 issues around AI that we need to be very careful about is the militarization of AI, the weaponization of it, where the people can be able to use it for nefarious purposes or misinformation. The second issue is with regards to biasness. where one can be able to use AI to create circumstances that favors the other. And the other issue is that how then do we make sure that the world is seen from a humanity perspective, not from a European view or from an African view? So the ethical foundations about AI is that we need to all here, as the G20 countries agree, to say, what are the key component humanity aspects that we need to safeguard, the guardrails and the aspects that we need to make sure that have been agreed at the United Nations. And so here it's the top 20 countries in the world that are saying, if for us to be able to embrace AI and make it a successful tool, we need to agree on the issues of ethics, the governance, the data that is required, and then what is the interoperable standards that we should be able to then implement across the globe, because that will assist in terms of growing the world GDP. That's the purpose of it today.
Yeah. Fascinating discussions. If we are to prepare for an AI future, I imagine, of course, we need to rope in children today, and that leads us to discussions around skills development. Where do we begin insofar as that is concerned, DDG, equipping our educators to not be afraid of AI, but to lean into it, to be able to teach it, and ultimately to ensure that children are better equipped for the future that they're probably going to not be able to avoid?
Thanks. I think that's a very interesting question, because there's been some concerns from the education field that AI, in terms of the applications that are coming out, has impacted in the manner in which education is conducted. But I think here is that there's a distinction that we must make. There's what is called generative AI. Generative AI affects particular sectors such as education, the arts, culture, because it is an information that is prompt. You prompt it so that it gives you a certain illustration or information or image. And then in that, it needs to be able to then use as a tool that still sustains the value chains of the education, the arts, and the sector. And that itself requires that we put a different standards around it. There is what is called an applied AI. An applied AI, for example, let me use transport, is that you're transporting goods from one point to another. You can be able, in a value chain, eliminate some inconveniences which can be solved by AI, and as a result, it reduces your cost of business. It also reduces the inconveniences that come with it. So the whole aspect around the technology is to make sure that we as human beings, we are able to then transit things that were in their nature that don't have to be there into the processing. So the bringing in the young people is because they are the ones that are going to be the now implementers and the embracement of this technology and to refine it. Whereas the generation of now is to demonstrate how it really affects and how it really assists us to advance in terms of humanity development. So it is not just only about the young people, it's about everyone. Because the technology is supposed to work for us as humanity, not us working for it. So we must fine-tune it in a way that it assists us to be able to then have productivity and creation of jobs and innovation, and also make sure that it eliminates. The theme of South Africa is the issue of we must ensure sustainability, we must ensure equality, and we must also ensure that there is a solidarity in the outcomes we are chasing with regards to this technology. And that requires that we need to work at the global scale so that we are able to have a multiplier force and be able to open up opportunities for everyone around the globe.
Absolutely. It's an exciting future that it looks like we are about to be confronted with, and hopefully we all lean into it as opposed to, run away from the inevitable, for lack of a better term. DDG, thanks for your time, and you're helping us understand what is taking place in this G20 AI working group meeting in Gqeberha. Ali Mashishi, of course, is the Deputy Director General in the Communications and Digital Technologies Department.